oyezu oyeza Munya NDC nya ewo United Kingdom na Ireland chapter da ma bri so michia na menyu ba bezian abato ho nkomo dem awore nyim na oka kakra na yakoto aba yeze yan mpenyimfo a wo party do wo da chapter ya meji ho nkomo na menyu ba bezi chairman akwa no ho nkomo da ma bri chairman akwa campaignfo a wo gina there to wando abana wombe chairman nemu chairman akwade ojina ho prekope nti mesraw de to waba na ezama chairman akwa na wabe chairman bo United Kingdom and Ireland chapter usane de okitan hihye bebre ya me na adom na so be chairman a opede ozuboa awo a member wo United Kingdom na Ireland na NDC party ni na da na dum hihye no mu binyi the establishment of a welfare program. Dem welfare program numu fosu binyi abrubiara NDC ni ehwehwam bo wo sekasama fem bibi kakre bi a ezeboto to nzama wa bra ahokyira aba no dem welfare program ebohwe na wonsa ka bibi kakra ofi £50 zuko £400 na enyesika etum ebotua eyi ye chairman akwana adwe na opede odzeboa NDC ibiso nyi de NDC member biara obenya any immigration issue ana mbrem nsemi biara wo bibia otena wo United Kingdom ana Ireland chairman akwa establish mpenyumfo a wo betena ho na wahwe na advice biara oyembra kono do na wodi amaw impo se pelo yenyi bi na wegina na waka wasem bi amaw wo United Kingdom ha ana Ireland da mpenyumfi wo mu binum ye lawyers a obotum wegina ma amaw na waji bibi kakre bi wa bra obotum wa abo na wo bibiara so akodo welfare program kuriyara su ya chairman akwa opede ozubobo azi onu so behwe na yenuanuma wo United Kingdom na Ireland nyinara awona wo ye into event organization photographers awona wo shishe bibia amanfo ye one parties one weddings ningina obaka wo nyinara abom dem obeya NDC member biara obenya any event do oye wedding outdooring bibiara no wetu wa bobo na wa ya man wa bra onkotue sika ti dema oka akafo obi wa pado ana enchen bi na wa ba da madina man chairman akona nimpemfu so bohwe na abibiara any welfare ana any social issue biara oba affected member biara no obaba pray wechi na bibiara de what mo ana bibiara de wo ye na wo bo program wa kodo no wetu wa yendam na ahomka wa ba welfare program ye bibia se nyamobo na se chairman akwa obeye chairman wo United Kingdom na Ireland no munsam kakra na me putu hu za atrewi odobobaji na woda aboa awo member na woda aboa yen NDC MPyi na epebe nazi munua NDC nya ewo United Kingdom na Ireland to waba former chairman akwa nyamobo na senensa kazebiu na ono so obegina na wahwede mama ka nyinara odobe yi dwuma na party na akwa n'enyim.
National Democratic Congress NDC no nyam former ni member mo UK ni Ireland chapter no ya yetienie bena so say beto aba every chapter chairman fofo ya se de chinye no mu nukoto on so enyo nyam for Dr Joe Agyemang the restoration man the father say every party no wenim kai odi amonyesema kutile ni le wetu ni hwesi wa former so nkoso oni mu adwumade de e fa ne hotitiru na esine nan so mmade bebre no de gu akwemu a obeye de amaye bini se o sigina ye esiko no dwumade bia be party office na odisika £3 empemenum na ato ase eye £5,000 o santwe magwo ne mama ho so £1,000 na ebe show mu dwumade mu kina na esigina ye Dodon swa mechire afoforo omo betro omudin abeka party ne ho de omo mbrakura o omo sebeka omudin card ententem so na atwe adom abeka ye ho eye bosime miense bia nso party mu mpanimfu a odi dwumadi ebe show mu nse bia no obetu safro mwatena se na de ye dia show mu nse no omebu ho apontam mako we ni bebre na no be ya mayo onia sekotri ko se bo ma wontuma bisanidi Dr. Joe Owusu, the restoration man, chapter chairman ana Yentumano.
clergy and the religious this thing, when they speak, they shake the foundation. And it is only the church that will address meaningfully the canker going on. And they want to silence all credible voices. Now, today, we will reveal everything to you. This question has, direct relation with the pronouncements of Reverend Professor Marty. Let me tell you why people do not want Professor Marty to talk. Listen, they have tried, politicians have tried all means, all means to muzzle me, to get me, but they can't. They come with bribes, fat envelope, $100,000. Listen. I want everybody to listen. Politicians came to my house with fat envelope, $100,000, not cedis, dollars, and also with the promises that if you keep quiet, we will give you a house at Trazaco with swimming pool. You know what? We will give you 4-wheel drive. These people were lucky. I did not have big dogs in my house. Else I would have released the dogs to bite them for the whole world to ask, Papa Moderator, my boy one again. Papa Moderator, I then I would now you release the dog. Then I will tell them, ask what they came to do. You know what? They have tried all means to muzzle me. They couldn't, and I tell you they can't. And you know what? I will speak today, I will speak tomorrow. You know the tax I pay, Osofo. Sometimes when this thing comes and I see the tax that I've paid, but at the same time I said, praise be to the Lord we serve, because it's going to build our nation. Then when my tax goes, you babies with sharp teeth, you are stealing the money and you don't want us to talk. We will talk today, we will talk tomorrow.
Mo ye ka so for asema mo Moses saying there is no genuine pastor in this country. So for biani oye genuine. There's no pastor in this country. I may say there's no single pastor. Oh my Ghana mo nyankopon ebi na no kasa kire no. They are liars. They are doing business. Obi agotina na sorry dem abie na sorry ye ne business. Na sebi previous youth no mo Ghana so na mo agotina sa sorry dem na mo ton nkumbia bi. Mutumi ko to so for calendar de bo simu dem say mo here protection. Abra sa sofu no or bodyguard. Na muti krom ha. And youth na mo my mo ha no. This is the time I was say ye be new. Ghanaian youth, our eyes are opening. Senka sofu ni e genuine. Adena Christian counselor ye din na youth e wo my mo ha ye bre. Adentina Christian counselor who do ahimfo e wo krom ha. Everybody is quiet about what is happening. Crisis e wo my mo antinka ye wo sofu mu so mu dwin Ghana ho mu nyame ni papa. Nka sofu yo mu sori nkasa ma youth no. We don't have any genuine pastor in this country. We are in this country na sofu bibe shen come say shatawale bewu shatawale wayarimpo anka wabewu. They are all in this country with lies. Black Stars kwa kubo match na sofu bi di flyer bi ba out to say omuye fasting and prayers for Black Stars. Akosi saying group stage ukura mutimi pie. We are living in this country. Instead of saying pointing the mistakes to the government to say is distracting the people of Ghana. No, mo yes I no. Now mo your flyers are who do say move empire to Galamsey, move empire to economic crisis in the country. Me say there's no genuine pastor in this country. So for biani Ghana Nyankopon kasa kire no. They are all liars. Nobody. So for biani or maimu ha, they should come. I can prove to them that they are all liars. So for biani kroma. So for binim say Nyankopon e friend na. On kire ye na ebesi 2022. 2023. On kire ye na ebesi 31st night ba afa no mbe show mu nkwasi ankom na ase. Na omu hye wonkom se uma me ne how u papa ne how u bi dua bi asifie ho ne how na mu distract youth na omu di nkonti ba dum omu maame no omu papa no machi se omu ya abaifo asofo omu kanipa bom asofo omu ye beef wo Ghana u so what say nyame nipa ye beef da. Let's open our eyes, Ghana's youth. It's about time amunya ya sorry kona munya adwuma. Work. Stop going to church. It's a waste of time. Sit down in your house, pray. God will listen to you. These pastors are doing business. They are getting money through with the youth. Work and get money. There's no single pastor Nyankopon kasa kire no Ghana maimuha. They are all liars and hypocrites. If they are not
say dear, yenam top connect so emani sika de bagana if we asia fana nyina yentia kapre ane aye free top connect amasika money ayem rekra ye hu hia ne se wo download it with top connect app no e Play Store dia ma wo Android phone and so we use iPhone so ko Apple Store na download the top connect aye simple kra top connect wa manda radio num so wo Europe North America and Asia wo mane wo dofu sika fa top connect so aye ntem na emre na mawa hoto so sese die sika manu di foforo kra any top connect so we hia chechemu bia for top connect our +442 081 6155 and a +442 081 761 600 +447 882 950 088 and nasa hwehwe top connect our befontin fidie nyina so top connect Fesika mane wa dofo sunjemu a untia kapre top connect yensu ye dienie
President Nanado ye frame Matheson sunyane na mewo makotena awonu Holland akọ sam infifure sika kakra ni nyaaye no mediaba mia me maimu Ghana diaba beto registered bank GN bank yi President Nanado Uber TV so be kachire Ghana for say GN bank anye na dwuma yi ti waje bank ne licenses no wo the customers ni sika be mo 3 years muni Mansa kan misika sika kakra ka ye no so 550 million media kwa akoto commercial bank na me nim say commercial bank de me di misika koto ho a e save President Nanado enam IMF bosiana wo kwa koboninti osimi misika 550 million na odi akwa akoye adwuma nya interest wo so no once the korano onfa mame misika trend no so o se onfa mame just 2024 na sika no interest ketuwa no a menya no obema me mu 5%. Menya adwuma wo Ghana. Mintimi so enko Holland se me koye adwuma. Mimfi akọ animu kakra. Kwan ben so na mefa so a me ne meyire ne memba ibedidi. Mr. President. Mesero se me ma se me be street carefree ho. Mia mi sika makosam infifre enya no. Mesero se obema mensa aka. Obi bia obi tie saa me audio me recording yi bi no. Mesrem se mo de beto mo platform so ebetimi afa so ma President Nanado nensaka we nyamase ni bi etie Ghana mpem for mesrem so se mo ne President Nanado be kasa ama me damase
Labado lupa asa for Jamaica maja me. I'm telling them today this is an opportunity for me to speak. They should demonstrate they will follow them. What is it? Are they waiting for 2024? Well, very work boy, mommy, that I'm ever. Pull one if And then they should go anywhere. They should go to wherever they wanted to go. The president and the ministers,
yeah, it's not that in here. You are getting ready. That's why I'm hospital. They buy a few. Pompia get Shikani back, you are getting ready. A large afa. I don't know where.
Chanakapa Ibrabo. You need fella monkey. What the police hospital? Amengaje. Swat clinic wa back deny. No, the police hospital. I can tashi na kumo general hospital. Company Rich Hospital. I'm malefio fio. Mane Rich Hospital.
You were papa the best sympathy. She kept you like a sympathy. The way you will put in the shia. There you tea. You come on war. There you war. I don't think that is the fear about it.
You're not born to go ahead there for prayer. What punish you see? Now, at the beginning of the year, I trust that for the was thank you, Mr. President. But say my bull Nigerian hospital. You see, I have a pack, la pack, Nigerian pack, and then Nigerian hospital.
Good morning, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I'm paying me bano boko. Meeting the ASP retired Franklin Nati. Mesun Ghana ewo police mu 24 plus years. Na me gratuity Mansa Kano Milito bond 2 years. Aka 1 year this year, September. Year 2023. Na mi bond no amateur. Wu adwina wo de ba ye say wakoboka ana wa bugana abofom enti me brama bre sika medi to bond no commercial bank no onfa mame we enye am robber ene ebe chimiji mi sika o oman panyi a ya tu abama no se onhwe yeso emra wo fru plane 18,000 pounds an hour nkrofo kachre wanted. Emra ufa so many ministers say omunu na oni omu betumi aye adwuma. Nkrofo kachre wanted. Ene your incompetence inti me bre amabre. Me disika yedi tua me ka say gratuity. Me fa hwe me ho so no. Usi wafa. This is 2033. Se mi manum na upese omumbe jisika na minana no mo a minim. President, woni diemu Israel. Unuana ni bank edi enim eji loans no. Mfaso a wanya no Israel. Manon fa nsa mfaso no. Ekutu yesika no. Mesika no. Mfa mami. Nanado, utrimu ye den papa. Obi a ma ye juma. Ghana mra kyerɛ sɛ 24 years plus no. Yentua meka as a retired officer no. Usi wuntua meka. Me nya 60 years ye. Nanado, Minister Mibisa, have you been a civil servant in Ghana before? Have you worked as a civil servant? Please. Nanado, mimpese mbe kasatiao. Mimpese mbe dumi usu eni ubusiya debi. Midi yao esreo. Tise se na Mr. Matheson. Efri sunyani esreo no. Jai misika mami. Midi di ASP Franklin Kwesi Nate. Mi tome bon wo commercial bank. It was Accra North branch. Please, I beg you, in the name of God, don't touch my money. Don't touch my money. Don't touch my money. Anybody who receives this, please send it to as many platforms for Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo to see, to hear, and to see. Or his cousin Ken Ofori Atta should hear. Please, 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 Nanado, I'm not supposed to beg you. Because when you were begging that you should be tried, I remember traveling from Kumasi to Kofrodua to vote for you 2016, thinking you are bringing something on board. I regretted it. I have regretted all my life. Some friends told me, Anka unya accident or question na uya. Well, Nanado, please, whoever received this message, forward it to as many platforms. Let Nanado hear me and ensure I have my money. Thank you.
What's name Wacha? Mama in 2 years. Says yeah, the fear of 2 years. I want them. What's name? What's name 2 years? We are 2 years account. Says yeah, no. Sir, then someone has said per se. Open single room. Says yeah, no put 600. Put 500. Put 700, 800. You're dying. Says here agents for age 100 CDs for viewing fee, and I say 80 Ghana for viewing fee. Just show you the room. Says here if you're a for beer, the Omodayam agent for Uchia 9,600. Also Uchia agent 900, 600, 900 and almost 1,000 CDs. Why? Says here you to the end day. Why? Like why? What? Like why? Hey, like it's serious. Say, Matsna demo 2 years. I'm paying 8,000. Now I'm supposed to pay 9,600. And you're taking the 2 years. You will take 1 year and put. Because you see, me 6 months in 1 year. Say there we hear Juma me fear. Uba boa no busumi pay the amount. Say 600 or say 700. You have to eat only small one pay because a whole month no pay. And see back on one by day. Ume she bibi yo. Ume she bibi yo my one penny for mon can one semi na. Youth for ye brena ye kun ye anyhow. A direct in tea ye begging pontino. Uba come ye kun. Boba koma ye kunti youth nti ye bra no edansem kunye adai how Ghana ye ble papa adai and the fear walk in nka jeveresa me patro me pedai moddo because who agents viewing fees or do cut set them or bet you 80 CDs and now say 100 CDs and then dance so man dying who could have 600 nothing room name or do 2 years 600 CDs 2 years because of that into the ultimate data or no person or two now or do a for the show on 600 500 that they would turn into a person who 2 years Ati mu nka ho hwe ma ye say youth ni ye bre. Ye ya ni ye beto aba ni ye aso ye to aba. Na me de me influence nkrofo keke.
Right, so fire will burn you by the mighty Osibisa. You are all welcome. Welcome to the program, the show. This is Fire will burn you coming to you from NFM Radio. Tonight is, which I say today is the 13th of February 2023. I hope everything that you're doing and wherever you are, whatever you've done the whole day, I am sure you are winning or you've won. Because I know that, I am winning. So another week has just arrived, and it's time for us to do some more discussion, to talk about issues that, the issues that are trending, things that are happening in Ghana. I think it comes none bigger than the fact that, elderly people who have worked all their lives, and when we say all their lives, in Ghana, it's literally, because some start as early as 6 years of age, especially from the village, you join your mom and dad in the farm. It's all work, Then you finish school and you start with national service here and there. You become a teacher, a head teacher, a headmaster, administrator, whatever you do. You work for several years. Some work for 30 years, 35, 40. I know some people who have even worked for 50 years. Because what happened is that, they were young when they joined the army. So they work about, let's say, 25 years in the army. Then they still had some years ahead of them, so they get about 15 to, maybe 15 to 20 more years in the civil service, or, the civic, what we call it, lines. So people have worked a lot, and now it looks as if at the time when they should be sitting at home, minding their own business and relatively feeling, comfortable within their own skins. Now these people have been called upon, been compelled to, to feel as though they have to work all over again. We will talk about how and why the government is making Ghanaian aged to come out picketing, come out on the street to demonstrate, ask government not to touch their monies. This is Fire Benny and Mansa Musa. I am ready to roll. As I say all the time, don't make fire your master. Always try to make fire your servant. If fire becomes your servant, believe me, fire will really, really serve you nicely. But if you make fire your manager, very soon fire will tend to be your enemy. And for that, you are going to be in all sort of trouble, all sort of problems. See what I mean? See what I mean? Tonight, I'm waiting for confirmation from Accra. As in the month for us to discuss about the overthrow of the Osagifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. So we try here at NFM Radio to get people affiliated with CPP and Osagifo. Tonight, if we are lucky, because we have this lady who happens to be the chairman of CPP now, and she has agreed to come and speak to Mansa Musa, but as we speak, she says she's on her way from somewhere. So let's see how things will pan out. If and when she's ready, we'll get here to listen to her. Also, I'm trying to get the gentleman. He is, I'm told, the CEO for PMMC. It is a company that they deal with gold matters and the rest in Ghana. So I'll see if I can get that gentleman to come and explain why some are saying it was a barter trade and others are saying we paid cash. We don't know what to believe anymore. But for now, let's come back to London, come and go speak to a gentleman, one of the NDC's UK Ireland chapter's members. In fact, he happens to be the chairman of the East London branch of the NDC here in the UK. Mr. Elijah Timo, good evening. Hello, Mr. Timo, can you hear me? Hello, Elijah, can you hear me? Hello, Elijah, can you hear me? Okay, let's try the line again. If we can get him back, because I can see the line going through, but he doesn't seem to be hearing me. Hopefully we'll get him to come and say hello to us. Let's see. I'm not sure. Okay, thank you very much. Right, so we will try and get Mr. Elijah Timo as soon as he is ready. In the meantime, let's see. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, all right. So, yeah. In the meantime, let's go for a commercial break whilst I speak to someone behind the scenes.
For Sadia, Yenam Top Connect so a manisika de bagana if we yasia fanenina yenchia capre. Annie, are free? Top Connect a masika money I am recra. You hear so but download it with Top Connect app no Play Store. Diama with Android phone and as we use iPhone so or Apple Store not download the Top Connect. A simple cra. Top Connect to a member bread you num so Europe, North America and Asia. Woman would dofu sika for Top Connect so a na emre na mawa hoto swonso sese die sika manu di foforo kra any Top Connect so we yan chechemu bia for Top Connect our +442 081 6155 and a +442 081 761 600 +447 882 950 088 and nasa hwehwe Top Connect our Belfont interfidie nyina so Top Connect Fesika mani wa dofwa sunjemu a unchia kapre Top Connect yensu ye dienye.
Oh, those words that I hate to say. Coons and buffoons used against people of color for years in the times of slavery. In those days when children, babies were torn away from their mother's breasts. When brother was turned against brother and sister against sister. When father and mother and child were sold to different bidders. In those painful years, for fear or for some little favor, one brother would say unkind things about another, so that master would whip that brother in public, and the one who reported him gets the crumbs off their table. Beware African leaders, for you are falling into this trap again. You've been to school, so don't be a fool. Think before you speak to the oppressor. Why would one leader, why would the head of one household rise from his household into another household, only to go and gossip and speak ill of their neighbor, their brother? What do they get? Why, in a time when all are saying, or of course a few are saying, hey, please don't beg, because when you beg, you disgrace us all, does one go to say unkind things about another, to one no better than the oppressor, so that he can get a favor? Think about it. You see, when you say people do not respect leaders, it is not that they don't respect leaders, they don't respect titles. For leadership is in what you do. Remember, There are no permanent friends, only permanent interests. Thank you.
Right, he said, remember, there are no permanent friends, only permanent interests. That voice we heard was that of Keke Nikusiche Nakwa. Those of you, the Ghanaians, you know who I'm talking about. Anyway, so moving on. I mean, how come that the immediate Chief Justice, Sophia Kufu, tells the government the truth, or, speaks her mind? And you see, people with no portfolio in government, you understand me? People with no portfolio in government. When I say with no portfolio, I think you understand me. For if you are an NPP, what we call it, communication director, you are not employed by the state, and so if there are matters that is concerned, or matters that has something to do with what the executive or the government is doing, how come? I mean, why will the director of the party, the ruling party, come forward to explain or talk on behalf of government? It's not right. It doesn't work like that. Why Akufo-Addo has turned everything upside down? The democracy, administration, governance, management, everything upside down, inside out in Ghana. But then, if things were working, in its right order, then of course we ain't going to say anything. No one was going to complain because things are working all right. The guy has turned things upside down, inside out. But things are working properly, so we should all shut up. But this is the case, everything in Ghana, as far as governance is concerned, is all over the place. We have the head of state, Akufo-Addo, goes around and you see him saying, yeah, with God's help, everything will be turned around. The economy will bounce back. Inshallah. That is what Akufo-Addo is telling us. Inshallah. Akufo-Addo is telling us, inshallah, the economy will be turned around. He is not responding to the fact that the Chief Justice, the former Chief Justice, says, look, you guys are wrong. You are doing things wrongly. It is not fair. It is not morally right. It is not even legally. I think it is wrong for you people to force or to coerce or to somehow make pensioners or pensioners feel bad if they don't agree to your proposals. When the former Chief Justice says this, we don't have the government, the people who are being paid by the state to come and answer. What we get is, responses from people who have no stake in government or who have no portfolio, official portfolio in government. What is Gabi Ochiridako's portfolio? What is his role officially? What is his role that everything he responds on behalf of government? What salary scale is he on? Is he on what is salary scale? Is he being paid? Is he being just given allowances? Why? What is going on? Then we have Mr. Richard Ahyagba. He is the director of NPP, the director of communications, NPP. Every political party must have their spokesperson. So fine. But should they be paid with the government, paid by state? Should that be the case? How is Mr. Ahyagba paid? How is he paid? Where does he draw his salary from? From accountant general or from where? And what, as we say in the street or the informal parlance, what beef has he got in government affairs? Government affairs. We are not talking about MPP affairs, inter-party affairs. Something happened, NDC saying something about NPP party and the director coming to respond. No, that's not what we're talking about. We are talking about something that the government, the executive is supposed to have done, where somebody, a public eminent, somebody, a person, a person in the capacity of the former Chief Justice coming to complain that government is wrong on certain things. Then we have Kojo Opon Kruma, who is paid, who pays himself, apparently without any authorization during COVID times, pays himself allowances. Now there's an issue for him to answer. We don't hear him answering. We don't hear him reply or responding. But we will hear the director of NPP coming to answer questions. Ladies and gentlemen, this is completely wrong. I mean, you see, that's why I started by saying Akufo-Addo has turned everything upside down, inside out in Ghana. When it comes to public administration, when it comes to public procurement, when it comes to public, the actual governance, when it comes to safety of what we call it, media personnel and the rest, when it comes to how to manage the economy, everything has been turned upside down, inside out. And like I said, if things were working properly, if everybody was, or not everyone, but if the citizens had satisfaction, if citizens are satisfied with how Akufo-Addo is running the country, then we will say, well, he has 10 things, he's doing things on orthodox way. But because he's doing well, everything is nice, let's leave him to carry on. Everything that we are facing today, all the hardships, all the money's missing, the mismanagement and everything, there's not a single trend, a single issue that is, is transpiring or has emerged today that people had not discussed it previously. I mean, in very recent times. Talk about the president traveling arrangements. The huge expenditure or expenses, how much he spent in a year. And today, can you imagine? I saw something and I said, what's going on? There was a get-together, a party, can you imagine, in February, to, party to celebrate or to entertain PROs, government public relation officers, to celebrate, I don't know what it is for, or is it to honor them? What in America I say? Obi Abusi. Okay, thank you. Obi Abusi yedika yenisika. Now people should forfeit part, some part of their savings or their bonds or their business. A friend is saying profits to help secure, put the economy on a proper secured footing. That being the case, at the Argentina February time, some people are celebrating something called what we PRO, your friend is a Public Relations Officers Awards.
abusiafo sesei die yenam top connect so emani sika de bagana ifi wiase afa na nyina yenchia kapre ane eye free top connect amasika manie ayemrekra ye wohia ne se wo be download with top connect app no e Play Store diama wo Android phone and as we use iPhone so or Apple Store na download the top connect eye simple kra top connect wa manda radio num so wo Europe North America and Asia woman wo dofo sika fa top connect so eye ntem na emre na ma wa hoto so so sese die sika manie di foforo kra any top connect so we yan chechemu bia for top connect our +442 081 6155 and a +442 081 761 600 +447 882 950 088 and nasa hwehwe top connect our barefoot interfidie nyina so top connect fasika mane wa dofo asumdiem a unchia kapre top connect yensu ye dienie
wana mutanen NDC da ke United Kingdom da Ireland chapter ina rokon ku har wa yau ku vote ku ba chairman Akwa shi kada ne wanda in Allah ya yarda ya win ya zama chairman zai kawo welfare program da zai taimaka muku ya taimaka ma party mu daga cikin wannan welfare program dukkan member da ke neman taimako lokacin da ya shiga cikin masuwa abin da ya kama daga 50 pounds zuwa 400 pounds welfare program na ya tabbatar a baka a taimaka maka in Allah ya maka dalili ka biya wannan kudi bayan haka kuma dukkan memba da ke neman wani taimako sha'anin batun takardun shi ko wurin zama ya ajiye manya da lauyoyi da kowane lokaci kake neman advice ko kake neman wani lawyer da zai taimaka maka akan batun sha'anin zamanka a ƙasar United Kingdom shi kuma su bi bayan ka su taimaka maka su saya maka ka biya wani abu kadan da yake in ka je waje zaka doki lawyer ba da ka same shi haka nan ba muna rokonka member NDC da ke United Kingdom ko Ireland in lokacin vote ya kai ka vote ka ba Chairman Akwa shi kare ne wanda yake zai taimaka ma party mu a lokacin da muke ciki wannan shine sanarwa ko wannan shine abin da muke roko ku taimaka mishi Allah kuma ya taimaka mu duka gaba daya Allah ba mu nasara mun gode muku da ku saurare mu assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
National Democratic Congress NDC no nyam former ni member mo UK ni Ireland chapter no ya yetienie yana so say beto aba every chapter chairman fofo ya hwede chinene mum no koto on so enyonyam for Dr Joe Owusu the restoration man the father say e party no enim kan odi amonyese makotile yie ne wetu ni gwesi wa performance ro nkoso oni mu adwumade die e fa ne hotituru na esine nan so numade bebre no die gu akwemu a obeye die amaye bi ni se o sigina ye esiko no dwumade bia be party office na odisika 3 pounds empemenum na ato ase eye 5,000 pounds o santre maguo ni mama honso 1,000 pounds na ebe show mu dwumade mu kina na esigina ye dodon so a be afoforo omo betro mudin abeka party ne ho de omo mbrakura o omo se beka omudi card ententem so na atwe adom abeka ye ho eye bosume miense bia nso party mu mpanimfu a odi dwumade be show mu nse bia no obeto safro omo atena se na de ye de show mu nse no omo ebu ho aponta mako we di bebre na no be ya maye yo onia se kwatre kwose be ma wontuma bisanidi Dr. Joe Agyemang, the restoration man, Chapter Chairman Anna, Yantumano.
If you just tune in, welcome to NFM Radio Mansa Musa. It's about 6 minutes to 8 o'clock. The program is Fire Will Burn You, but make sure fire will be your servant. If fire is your servant, you are okay. If fire becomes your manager, you are in trouble. If fire becomes your enemy, you are in double trouble. Right. So, yeah, I was talking to, someone behind the scenes, but let's continue. The thing is, if we say we don't have money, the situation is so bad that we had to beg, beg the pensioners or pensioners to lend government their money for the meantime, right? That is a very, very serious situation. We are in dire, serious times. That granted, that accepted. How come yesterday, I'm looking at this, I'm still looking for it, that some people call PROs or public relations officers, people, who work for government and they are the public, or, those who speaks on behalf of government or something. They did award dinner. They actually spent money in February to entertain themselves. So, in all this, ladies and gentlemen, tell me, why, are we in dire straits? Do we have financial issues, problems, government, public financial problems, or we don't? People are, crying and begging Akufo-Addo to reduce the number of people gathered at the Jubilee House. The number of people. You see, when we talk about these things, as for the individual personnel or individual persons working for government, I would say good on them. You have a job, that is good. But given that we are in this situation where even pensioners may have to forgo their monies for a while, why have we got hundreds and hundreds, some would say thousands of people working at the Jubilee House? What job are they so much doing? What is so much important about what they do at the Jubilee House that if the numbers are reduced, that may cause so much havoc to the government or to the running of the government, the running of the country? So, for instance, if we have about 1,300 persons at the Jubilee House and it was reduced to, let's say, 500 people, it's Akufo-Addo and his people telling us that, so that means they cannot run the country. People are begging that there is so much waste in the system. There is so much waste. The civil service is overblown. We have so many appointments. As for board of directors sitting on government or public utilities, people have been made board members just to draw salaries. Because if these people's work was that important and what they are doing actually did help, we'll see some development, some results, and the resultant outcome will not be what we are seeing now, will it? Look, when it comes to governance, when it comes to doing things, as they say, to be or not to be, when you are to do something, right? There is, everything in life has its methods. It has its methods, its process, its procedures. There are things that you do that will require, you see, it will require so many people, so many hands. Like those who built the pyramid in all those years and other ancient historical sites. The assumption is that, the educated assumption is that we had so many people working to build one pyramid. At the moment, if we want to build one pyramid, I think about 100 to 200 people with machines can build a pyramid. But in those days, maybe 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people had to gather to build one pyramid. So everything that you do, you got its own process, procedures, and everything. And looking at the outcomes, the results. So if you have, I remember I had a friend when I was a little kid in Burma camp, and he lived in Labadi. Later, I realized that his dad and uncles were fishermen. So when I think it's Sunday or Saturday, I've forgotten the actual date. There was a day that they don't go to sea, or where they just sit at the beach on the sand and in their canoes, mending the nets and repairing the boats and this and that and that. But when you go, even those days, you see that they will cast a net. The net that they just cast, then people at the beach in the sand will start pulling the nets. I don't know what it's called, but they will pull the nets. You see, you need plenty people to help pull in the nets. Some of us, we enjoy the adventure, so I just pull it. When the fish come, I won't be giving nothing. I won't even go to my friend's house to go and eat. I'll just walk my way back to Burma camp after pulling a net. But these days, everything you do, that has to be compensated. You've got to be paid. You do things for government, and you have to be remunerated. That you have to be given a compensation. You have to be rewarded for the work you've done. So people are crying and begging Akufo-Addo. There are too many people drawing government salary back in down there at the Jubilee House. Too many people. Kindly reduce the number. This has been going on and on and on and on. Today, I read one message, I think coming from one of the, let me see. It's coming from, I think one of the, coming from one of the people who the IMF personnel advising or suggesting that all these problems could have been avoided if Akufo-Addo's government and his people had listened to good advice or sound counsel. So it means people actually did advise this government, but they just decided not to listen. Akufo-Addo and his people decided not to listen. So that's where we are today. I'll continue, but for now, let me go to the phone and speak to a gentleman who happens to be the chairman of NDC branch here in the UK, notably the East London branch. Mr. Elijah Timoth, good evening.
Good evening, my brother. Good evening to all your listeners.
There is some echo coming. I don't know whether it's from your side. Hopefully, are you at home?
I am at home, yes.
Okay, so let's hope that if it is my side, I will, it will be corrected. Okay, long time really we haven't spoken on air, so thank you very much for accepting my invite.
You're most welcome, my brother. It's always a pleasure to engage with your very, very interactive show. I'm sure the whole of London, and now you've gone global. The entire globe really is enjoying your show as much as I do.
Thank you very much indeed. Right, let me ask you, one very flat question I'm going to ask. The other time I met you, I asked you that people say, I get the information left, right, and center, that you are one of the deserving, people or persons that should have competed for the position of NDC chapter chairman. So tell me or us officially on this radio why you are not competing.
Fantastic question. It's part and parcel of the style of politics that is being played here in the UK and Ireland chapter. If you recall, I was in the race 4 years ago, and very, very late in the hour, some guidelines were concocted out of the blue that disqualified some of us for reasons that up till today make no sense. I believe it was politics to ensure that we didn't pose a threat to some people. And the same continued to a point where our branch was inaugurated very, very late in the day. And prior to our inauguration, a lot of statements came from the leadership of the chapter, ensuring that anybody who is an executive member of the inaugurated branch must remain so at that level for a certain minimum period of time. So as far as I am concerned, that was a swipe and a way of ensuring that some of us didn't have the opportunity to be part of the race. Personally, it doesn't matter to me, because knowing myself and what I am capable of, I don't necessarily have to be at the top of affairs at the chapter to be able to play my role for the party I love dearly.
You see, you say personally, you feel, satisfied in your skin with yourself. But we have a saying in Akan which literally translates as, when or if the royalty refuse to fight, the servants will just escape, they will run away. So you being satisfied with your lot is okay, but depriving, don't you think, have you thought, or don't you think about, with this attitude you are depriving your group of otherwise a good, capable leadership?
Well, you do have a point, and I agree with you to some extent. I believe strongly that I can play a very significant role for the party, even if I was nobody at all. That being a branch chairman, and we know that a lot of activities actually take place at branch level, I think I can still play a significant role and probably attract a lot of people into the party. Where I am now, I am very comfortable that I can help the leadership or challenge them in ways that will make the NDC UK stronger, that will make it more attractive and put us in a position where we can better contribute to politics back home. So I do apologize if that is how people feel, but sometimes not everything is in your control. And in this case, I believe things were not so much in my control, and I didn't need to give up the role that I am currently playing and fight for bigger leadership. If that is indeed where I belong, or if that is indeed where I will be recognized, I believe there is still plenty of time, and my time will come sooner or later.
So, well, okay, let's come to the specific issue, and that is because your branch wasn't inaugurated soon enough for you to qualify to be able to contest this time around. Okay, that is fine. But some are saying, I've been told, that you could have just resigned your post. You could have just, decide to just do away with the chairmanship of the branch, then go for the top one, the chaptership. What's your explanation to this?
Well, I personally don't see the need for that. And again, I'm speaking for myself here. Apologies if people are aggrieved by that. I have no intentions of making anybody feel aggrieved in any way, shape, or form. I believe there are equally good people out there, possibly even better than me in certain ways, and can play a very, very important leadership role at that level. So as long as we work together, share our ideas, and all contribute towards the general management and running of the UK chapter, I don't necessarily have to be at the helm. And that is my strong belief.
Now let's come to the other matters, and that is a lot is being said, a lot is being, a lot of complaints going about. I'm hearing so many things. The other time I couldn't ask you properly because it was a large gathering with everybody there. In your own view, I mean, or the facts as you know it, why are you guys delaying, or what is stopping or making it difficult for this your chapter election to take place?
Very good question, my brother. It is a situation I am not happy nor proud of, and I'm sure a lot of forward-thinking members of the chapter feel likewise. Having lived in the UK for many years, we should be an example of best practice, but we find out that quite often we are found wanting when it comes to contests of this nature. There are numerous reasons why things are the way they are. First and foremost, I believe we haven't stamped our authority enough to make sure rules and regulations are clear and stringent enough to prevent all the sorts of things that are happening in various quarters. If we had stamped our authority earlier on and made sure that any rules and regulations have been brought to the attention of the chapter well in advance of the contest, rather than leaving things to the last minute, giving out bits of information here and there where contestants don't even know where they stand, it doesn't help the situation. I personally don't believe in pointing fingers at individuals. And if you realize my style of politics, I shy away from criticizing people. I will criticize policies, I'll criticize ideas and the way things are done, but I will fall short of criticizing individuals. That is me, and that is the way I do my politics. So the reasons are numerous. One, there is clear lack of trust between the current leadership and the rest of the chapter, if I may put it that way. Some people may disagree with me, but it stems from the fact that the style of running the affairs in the last 4 years, and I would want to add the caveat that it's not peculiar to these last 4 years alone. We have seen similar things in the previous two administrations, but a lot of them have become particularly clear in the last 4. Yeah, so people are not being straightforward, and there are allegations of people being drafted in to vote for certain candidates where their allegiance to the party may be questionable, or some haven't been in the party long enough, they may not even qualify to vote, but people are drafting them in just to decide the leadership. I think these are all things that we can look into and try to build on going forward. We'll try to strengthen the pillars, if you like, and ensure that next 4 years we are not facing the same scenario. If we do 4 years from now, then we would have failed the people, we would have failed abysmally, and we would have left our responsibilities instead of fighting to recruit more people, make NDC more attractive. We are rather busy fighting ourselves. I think that is not where we should be. So personally, I'm not happy with the situation, and you may realize I have largely stayed away from all the politics surrounding these particular elections. My main reason is we could do things better, and I don't want to be part of the disagreements going on here and there.
Don't you think, again, this attitude, it will be detrimental to all such attributes that when it came to tough times, Honorable Timor was not nowhere to be found. He stayed away. Don't you think you should rather be engaging, forcing yourself into it, making sure people do the right thing instead of you say, I leave it to you. That won't be, like you say, your people, UK should exhibit high standards of, what did you say? Standards. I mean, should exhibit some credible standards. Personally, you must also be, you should be seen to be in the thick of affairs, shouldn't you?
Absolutely. You have put a fantastic question across. And indeed, I am involved locally at my level, very, very deeply, as a matter of fact. And my way of doing things is I find it critical to be criticizing others of doing things in a certain way if my own house is not in order. So I am putting my own house in order, and by that I mean the East London branch that I chair. And I make sure that the things that others are pointing fingers at certain branches or even chapter 4 are not happening in East London. Yeah, I may be making some enemies along the way, but as far as putting my foot down and ensuring things are done rightly, rest assured, as long as I remain chairman of that branch, things will be done right. My style is I will step on you, or in fact, I will push you aside, trample on you to ensure the right thing is done. Then I'll come back, pick you up, and apologize. So what that means is don't stand in my way if you know you are not doing the right thing. Because I believe if we all did that, if we all put our houses in order at branch level, then at chapter level, things will be smoother sailing than they currently are. So it probably won't be fair to say I'm staying away from the action. I may be doing so in one format, but I'm clearly very much at the forefront of everything that is going on by ensuring that my branch members are ready, they are prepared to take part, to exercise their franchise and choose the next group of leaders for our chapter. So
what a shame that such an articulate person is, at least for now, not in the fray. But are you saying that making sure things, at least in your branch, is done properly? There is some allegation being banded around, apparently, that some branches are refusing to let other people, other executives, other contestants into their domain, let's say their platforms, branch platform. I don't know where you personally stand on this, if it is true. If it is true, why should this happen?
Fantastic question. I wouldn't call it allegations, it is facts, and we as a branch have taken that decision at branch level, executive level, not to allow contestants who are not members of our branch onto our platform. And our reasons are very simple. First and foremost, every branch member belongs to the chapter and automatically should be on the official chapter platform. So if we are all on the chapter platform where all the contestants are also present, does it make sense that campaigning should be going on there where everyone sees, and also going on individually at various branches and also on other platforms that some of us duplicate on. There is simply too much duplication, and there is the risk that people will potentially lose interest, fall off the ladder, if you like, and not engage. Yeah, so we are trying to prevent that, and we've made a decision once as executive members of the East London branch to not allow members who are not our branch members to campaign on the platform. We also went further to ensure that all our members belong to the official chapter platform. And I have actually gone a step further to write, just as recently as last week, on the official chapter platform, as well as the extended chapter executive platform, and also on the transformational agenda platform, explaining our position. It's nothing to do with trying to disenfranchise anybody. It's nothing personal. It's just a decision we have taken. And a day prior to what I posted on those platforms I mentioned, we held an executive meeting. The issue came up again because contestants were approaching various executive members individually, myself included. So being the staunch Democrat that I am, I don't take any decision alone. We discussed it at length and unanimously agreed to maintain the status quo. And so I had to explain our position, why it is not happening. Because if you look at it practically, people are circulating the same sort of campaign messages, campaign images from platform to platform to platform. There is nothing new. And all it does is it clogs up our devices and potentially stops us from doing other more important things. So I find it as a trial that we are conducting in East London. And if it works well, we will then campaign to make sure the same thing is practiced next time around. Because there have been instances where people have missed very, very important messages as a result of similar things. Because when you're getting so many messages about the same thing, you can miss something important, and we want to avoid that. So it's nothing personal. We are not bragging. We are not saying we are above anybody. It's just we are being practical. Let's do things slightly differently in East London.
Those who are in favor or against this particular practice, they are not here to defend or to respond. So let me play the devil's advocate and try to, ask the question they would have asked if any of them was here. And that is, number one, it's not up to you and I or anyone to say that, look, somebody is clogging the platform, so we should stop it, or it's the same. That is number one. Number two, that you have a chapter platform that everyone. I've been told that it's not everyone who is on that platform. And so if those people cannot be reached, through the branches, then it means some people's message will never be known by, obviously, those in a branch like yours. Given that people in your branch doesn't mean, for instance, if you were standing, it means the branch, all of them will vote for you. It doesn't mean that way. So people in the branch must know what is happening outside the branch, given that they may not be on the official platform, the chapter platform. That is two. Then number three, some of the branches have opened theirs, just open to all, open door policy, so to speak. And they don't have any problems, people, sending multiples of whatever it is. So why should that be problem to a platform like yours?
Fantastic set of three questions. First and foremost, regarding the clogging of devices, I have personally received messages and phone calls from members of my branch complaining why that is so. that why can't people be a little more measured as far as sending campaign messages is concerned. So it's not my personal nor any member of the executive committee's personal thinking, but we have actually received people's complaints, and people have gone a step further to say that they don't actually read these messages. As soon as they come, they delete them, you know. And then I personally have been affected in a way that I wake up in the morning and my device memory is full. I can't open WhatsApp, I can't read email, and mind you, I don't use my phone just for politics.
Sure.
I use it for work. I use it for so many other engagements.
Sure.
So if because of my engagement in NDC politics, I miss an important work-related email, then that is significant. You know, so for that alone, we took a decision that, look, let's defend some people who may be facing the same situation as myself and others. And now, as far as the chapter platform is concerned, we have made it clear, we have said it at our meetings, we put messages on our platforms. If anyone is active on the platform and is currently not on the chapter platform, bring it to our attention, because we can miss these things. We are human. We are prone to errors like anybody else. You know, so if you bring it to our attention, we will make sure that you are included onto the chapter platform. We will send your contacts to the various admins of those platforms. And then thirdly, we also recognize that as part of the electioneering process, all contestants who are interested in being on various branch platforms are actually entitled to have the membership lists of various branches, including their contacts and everything. So if you're a contestant and you don't have that list, you can request it from the chapter electoral committee, and they are obliged to provide it to you as long as you have gone through vetting and passed to become a contestant. So if you then have those contacts, then clearly you have no excuse not to be able to reach out to any individuals. You don't necessarily have to do group campaigning on a platform to reach certain people. Yeah, so that is the logic we look at. And the fact that some branches have opened to all contestants, that is their prerogative. We have decided otherwise. We respect their decision, and we expect them to respect ours. It's as simple as that.
Let's explore that one a little bit. The last statement, isn't it a bit? Isn't that a problem if within the NDC there is NDC rules within NDC rules? For instance, a chapter, then a branch, and branch are talking to each other as they and we and them. They have this and we have this. It's a bit worrying if that is prevailing too. I mean, I'm talking from my personal experience, or if I were, or one day you decide you want me as your advisor, I would advise that, look, when it comes to even the clogging, you could put on the platform that, look, every 2 weeks, every fortnight, only one advert or message will be accepted by each of the candidates. If somebody violates that twice, or maybe you can say 3 times, they are kicked out. That will, it genuinely, if practical, that is actually creating problems. Then you put measures there, because I was on certain platforms genuinely, I genuinely made mistakes, and I made a mistake 3 times. I was kicked out, I've been taken out, and that's the end of it. So that one I will say that, but the problem, the bigger problem to me is that of, NDC branch talking as though other branches are different entity. It is rather worrying. I don't know, I don't want to drag you into this so much, because maybe I'm biased about you, and so I will have to connect. But the point is, you guys will have to revisit that decision, because if it becomes a norm and next time other branches will say, oh, this is our decision. I mean, NDC, North, what we call it, North London Southeast is just for convenience, the traveling, the rest. Otherwise, it is one party. All the rules should be the same. Of course, certain personal or certain particular issues regarding locality, maybe that is a different thing. But, as a rule, that is my advice though. But let's come on to a general, issue. And that is, I want to ask you, I've been told that up to now, you guys don't have a central database to determine how many people you have in the chapter. Is it true?
Well, that would be a question for the chapter leaders to answer. The little I know is data collection has been a little too sparse for my liking, and it looks like the small data that we have is not even properly collated. And my reason for saying that is, when it comes to elections and things like this, people go through all lengths to be able to even identify who is up to date with their dues payments, when did anybody join, and little things like that. And I believe that stems from the fact that data collection, data management and interpretation could probably be done slightly better. I couldn't possibly tell the reasons why they are not the best.
Before the reasons though, I'm asking, is it true? Because I am flabbergasted, I'm using that big word, but it is strange that this day and age, getting to election, people are, like you say, trying to smuggle names because you don't have a central, data. Even if it is a hard copy, hard paper, and it's not even on internet, which if it's not on the IT system, that is even a shame. Why do you think, is it failure of the executives? Is it deliberate? What do you think?
Well, I have my own theories, but I would leave it at that. What I can say for certain is 4 years ago, when we were facing elections, I personally drove to a number of people to sign and paid their dues to me in cash, and I drove it back, handed it to the relevant authorities with their passport-size pictures. And these were people in the North London catchment area. And by convention, they were expected to become members of North London branch. To my utter shock, when I became a member of the last chapter elections electoral committee, we found some of these names that I personally went to them to pick up their forms in North London. They ended up on South London register. As we speak, I am yet to have an explanation how they ended up there. So yes, when people say these things, they are not mere allegations. There is always some truth to that. So things are not perfect. We could do things a little better, especially if we try to clamor the fact that we've lived in a developed country, we see how things are done better, and especially if some of us criticize the way things are done back home, then we should at least, as a matter of...
I am very happy you have the last, comment, how things are done back home, vis-a-vis how it is done here. I was going to let you finish and I ask, but since you brought that, let me just chip in to ask you that, given that you live in UK, you must be able to administer yourselves properly, tangibly, with accuracy, competently. So if we are always addressing people as incompetents and the rest, then when it comes to just a few of you, you cannot administer yourself properly. That is really a problem, isn't it?
It is a big problem. I completely agree with you. Because from where I sit, I don't think we have any moral authority to criticize the way things are done back home if we cannot do them any better. Where is our transparency? Where is our openness? It's our integrity. If we cannot show that, having lived in the UK for so many years, we are any better at organizing ourselves, then what was the point of living here for so long? We go to work, we play by the rules, we abide by time, we know that you can't claim payment for time that you haven't worked, and so on and so forth. I'm just giving random examples.
Sure.
And then we come to our own NDC chapter, and we cannot do the same. You call a meeting at 7 o'clock, people don't turn up to 8, 8:30, still expecting the meeting to be going on. To me, it smacks of lack of discipline. And if I always say this, nothing works where discipline is lacking. Yeah, if you want to look at an example, just look at our services back home. Look at the military, look at the police service, look at the fire service, and so on and so forth. People know that the most disciplined of them is the army. And you don't expect army to be doing things haphazardly.
No.
If you look at the way our independence celebrations are usually organized, I think the creme de la creme is always looking at how the various army regiments march.
Sure.
And they do it so beautifully because of the discipline involved in their training and the fact that if they put a step wrong, there could be penalties. We don't seem to have that.
You make me wish I could go back and rejoin. Listen, Mr. Timo, listen. I want to drag you on a bit just because, because I hold you in high esteem, you have what it takes. That's why I want to have conversation with you. This, talking about the competence and what should be done. For 4 years, surely these problems have been going on. One would ask, when you have meetings, when you go on meetings, whether it's Zoom or what exactly do you discuss? Because these problems are there and they are there. So is it our style? I mean, is it in our DNA that we don't know how to run anything as black Africans, or what, as Ghanaians? What do you think is the problem?
I think the problem is a little simpler than we imagine. One is we are unable to separate work from personal way of doing things, personal relationships, if you like. And I'll give you an example. You go to a meeting where people look at your face and the sort of people you link up or mingle with before even calling you to air your views. I think that is clearly wrong. We should not be judging people based on their associations. We should not be judging people not even based on their level of education or what languages they speak or where they come from. That is clearly wrong. Everybody has something in them. Everybody has potential. And whenever you come in a group, let people's potentials, let their skills and talents flow naturally. That way you'll be able to identify what specific roles people can better play in the organization to make it better. That is what is lacking. And sometimes we just don't follow rules, which I find really strange. Because as I mentioned only moments ago, my personal experience in the short life I have lived on planet Earth is this. Where there is no law and order, nothing works properly. So until we instill discipline, law and order in our own organizations, we are just wasting time, and we are not getting anywhere with that. Isn't
it ironic? Isn't it ironic that we expect others to do things properly? We talk a lot. If you read my write-ups, I write a lot, but when it comes to we managing things, we don't do it. We are not able to. For me, this is a worry. I mean, it is not about getting the post or the position and bragging your way about it or feeling big and everything. But when you have to make an input to get a result, we are lacking all the time. Why are we not thinking that? No, I mean, why don't we know that we lack that ability to make things work?
Good point. I don't believe we lack the ability, because you will find out that wherever we find ourselves in various workplaces, especially if we have leadership roles there, we tend to do things right. And the reason is simple. There are laid down procedures that we must follow. And if you don't follow them, there are consequences. So we just need to inculcate the same sort of mentality in our own personal organizations that we run and own. And until we do that, it will always give the semblance that the black man is incapable of running their own affairs. I don't believe in that one bit. We are very capable, and we, in fact, excel in a lot of roles that we play at work and in churches and so on and so forth. What we just don't do well is apply principles.
Maybe, yeah, I like that one. Apply principle, because we are being dishonest.
Absolutely, because the minute you start to bend principles, you are changing order.
Yes.
You are changing the law, and that is where things start to go wrong. Because if, for example, somebody calls another certain unrepeatable names in public, and they are not sanctioned, what's going to happen next time? Another person will go even further.
Sure.
And that is the beginning of breakdown of law and order in our society and organizations. We have to be truthful to ourselves.
We have to. Someone have just sent me, Musa, ask him about the data for the chapter. What about the data for his own branch? He said, do you have a full complement of the number of people you have, at least up to the date of your first scheduled election date? Up to that time, do you have the full complement of how many people you have in your branch?
Absolutely. And I don't know how you may want to verify that.
No. You see, for me, I don't doubt your integrity. I thought you were going to say, oh, no. I was getting worried, because if you didn't have it, that means, but I don't doubt your integrity at all. So you have it. Look, for me...
We have very competent people running the branch, and I don't doubt the integrity of any one of them at all. Yeah,
nobody have tried or attempted to infuse some more people in it?
Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge. We work very closely together as a team. Our treasurer on a regular basis updates me on dues payments. I am almost on a day-to-day conversation with our secretary and pretty much all the executives. We probably don't talk very much on the phone, but we interact a lot in other ways. And I couldn't have asked for a better team, to be perfectly honest with you. As far as data is concerned in East London, it is watertight, it is secure, and it's up to the minute. It's accurate up to the minute.
Brilliant.
I can assure you of that.
Brilliant.
And as I said, anyone who wants to challenge that is welcome to visit us and ask to see what I'm talking about.
That was Mr. Elijah Timo speaking to me from somewhere in London. Very articulate. So interesting and so satisfying. Yeah. And that is a personal feeling. What I want to say, though, is that my producer has given me a signal and said, look, tell him to sometimes visit us and arrange to send us his Windows Might to help us organize ourselves. All right, I've read it out. So, Mr. Chairman, it's a personal something or a branch sort of a decision that anytime you can come and help NFM Mansa Musa show with your personal token, simple token and or Windows Might, we will be very, very, very appreciative of that. So for tonight, though, thank you very much, and we hope it won't be the last, because I've never felt so comfortable speaking to someone, and you made it quite easier for the conversation to flow. So thank you, wishing you all the best, and have a good evening.
Thank you so much, my brother. And I've always said this, we are rather blessed to have you in our locality, East London. So it's only fair that as a branch and individuals, we support you to grow the good work that you are doing. You are reaching the Ghanaian community in a beautiful way, and we are immensely proud of you. Keep up the good work, and our support will surely come.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. Good night. Right, so that was me with Mr. Elijah Timo. He's the chairman of NDC East London branch. I will have to say, such an articulate somebody whom so many people, including myself, I don't have a vote anyway, but I would have seriously endorsed him. I'll tell you, because when I see a gentleman, a capable somebody, someone with capacity and ability, I see it straight away. And this guy is not far from, what is needed to run this chapter, this NDC thingy. Anyway, for me, I'm straightforward. Something in their chapter, in their branch, I don't agree with. In my view, I think it's wrong. They have to allow everyone to come into their branch domain. And if someone, contravenes rules, you kick them out. That one will be acceptable. Otherwise, everything else, the guy is superb. Let's go for a small, quick commercial break, and we'll be back to continue.
Say yenam top connect so emani sika de bagana if we wiase afa na nyina yenchia kapre ane aye free top connect amasika manie ayemre kra ye wohia ne se wo be download wo top connect app no e wo Play Store de ama wo Android phone ana se wo use iPhone so a ko Apple Store na download the top connect aye simple kra top connect wa man be aduonum so wo Europe, North America and Asia wo mane wo dofo sika fa top connect so a aye ntem na emre na mma wa hoto so nso sese die sika manye di foforo kra any top connect so we hia nchechemu bia fra top connect ewo +442 081 6155 and +442 081 761 600 +447 882 950 088 and nasa hwehwe top connect ewa befunti ntafidie nyina so top connect fasika mane wa dofo asumjemu a untia kapre top connect yensu ye die.
Good morning, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I'm paying me bano boko. Within the ASP retired Franklin Nate. Mesun Ghana ewo police mu 24 plus years. Na mi gratuity Mansa Kano milito bond 2 years. Aka 1 year this year September. Year 2023. Na mi bond no amateur. Wu adwina wudi ba ye say wakoboka ana wa bugana abofom enti me bra ma bre sika medi to bond no commercial bank no onfa mame we enye amroba ene be chimiji misika o oman panyi a ya to abama no se onhwe yeso emra wo fru plane 18,000 pounds an hour nkrofo kachre wante emra wo fa so many ministers se omunu na oni omu betumi aye adwuma nkrofo kachre wante ene your incompetence inti me bre amabre me disika yedi tua me ka se gratuity me fa hwe me ho so no usi wafa this 2033 se mi manu na opese omumbe jisika na me na no mu a menim president woni diemu misrew unuana ni bank edi enim eji loans no mfaso a wanya no misrew manu fansa mfaso no ekutu yesika no mesika no mfa mame nanado utrimu yedin papa obi ama ye djuma Ghana mra kire se 24 years plus no yentua meka as a retired officer no usi wuntua meka menya 60 years ye nanado minister mibisa wo. Have you been a civil servant in Ghana before? Have you worked as a civil servant? Please. Nanado. Mimpese. Mbe kasatiao. Mimpese mbe dumi usu eni ubusian derby. Midi yao esreo. Tise na Mr. Matheson. Efrisu nyani esreo no. Misika mami, midin the ASP Franklin Kwesi Nate, mi tome bon wo commercial bank. It was Accra North branch. Please, I beg you, in the name of God, don't touch my money. Don't touch my money. Don't touch my money. Anybody who receives this, please send it to as many platforms for Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to see, to hear, and to see. Or his cousin Ken Ofori Atta should hear. Please, 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 Nana Addo, I'm not supposed to beg you. Because when you were begging that you should be tried, I remember traveling from Kumasi to Koforidua to vote for you 2016, thinking you are bringing something on board. I regretted it. I have regretted all my life. Some friends told me, and Kaunya accident or question a well, Nanado, please, whoever received this message, forward it to as many platforms. Let Nanado hear me and ensure I have my money. Thank you.
President Nanado, Efreme Matheson, Sunyane Namewo. Makotena awonum Holland, ako Sam in Fifure. Sika kakra mi nyaaye no, me de aba mia me maimu Ghana. De aba beto registered bank, Ghanaian bank yi. President Nanado, ube TV so be kachire Ghana for se. Ghanaian bank anye na dwuma yi. Ti waje bank ne licenses no. Wo the customers ni sika be mo. 3 years muni Mansa kan mi sika. Sika kakra ka ye no so 550 million. Media kwa to commercial bank. Na me de say commercial bank de me de misika koto ho a e save. President Nanado enam IMF bosia na wo kwa akoboni nti. Osimi misika 550 million na odi akwa akoye adwuma nya interest wo so no. Once the Quran on famame. Misika trene no so. Ose on famame. Just 2024. Na sika no interest ketewa no a menya no. Obema me mu 5%. Menya adwuma wo Ghana. Mintimi so enko Holland se me koye adwuma. Mimfi akọ animu kakra. Kwan ben so na mefa so a me ne meyire ne memba yibedidi. Mr. President, mesrɛ sɛ me ma sɛ me be street carefully ho. Mia me sika makosam mfifire enya no. Mesrɛ sɛ obema me nsa aka. Obi bia obi tie saa me audio me recording yi bi no. Mesrɛ sɛ mo de beto mo platform so. Ebetimi afa so ma President Nanado ne nsa aka. We nyamase ni bi etie. Ghana mpanyinfo mesrɛ mo so sɛ mo ne President Nanado be kasa ama me. Medamase.
Right, if you've just tuned in once again, you are welcome. You are listening to Mansa. The program is Fire Will Burn You. As I always have to indicate, look, you shouldn't be afraid of fire at all, because fire, you can work with fire. When you make fire your servant, it will serve you nice and polite. But what you don't have to do is to make fire your manager. Either your manager or fire your, what do I say? Fire, you make fire, later fire become your enemy, and you prepare and make catch you. So try as much as possible to always keep fire in its place. So now make sure. Let's see. Okay. Right, Mr. Duchum. Good evening.
Good evening, Mansa.
Yeah, we be able to here.
I'm Adam.
Yes, we are here. You're here, Papa. I had here. Me dimim come me say me dwene me ho me mpa me ho asem. Na Ghana for most of you pensioner for pa court demonstration. Emma Ghana Crawford titi ho. Didi no kasa te se de ahwe nsiye. Na before baba kasa no me hu poster bi e de abreme. Na poster no hwe so a okay, let's see where we are. But me hwe so metumi bia na ade akɔhye chirichichi, because me system no me say message no me nya about 100 message every 5 minutes. Let me see. Or say Information Services Department and Ministry of Information 2022 Government PRO's Dinner and Awards Night. 2022 no, government PRO's dinner and awards night. It will happen on Saturday, the 18th of February 2023 at the Tank Palace Hotel, Airport Residential Area. And Obiachro say, we don't have financial problem in Ghana. Now, dear Quran Ekosri, Mr. Duchum, dear Ekosri.
Minchia, what for any East London chairman so Kasa Kama, Mr. Elijah, Minchia East London. Members in NDC members in Minchia, NDC UK, Ireland, so Obia team, any Ghana phone, any one Kasa Quenya, the Amaya say, intimate platforms on the Express here. A question very deep, but our branches be brave. But I dare question number one. Should tell you that we have a serious constitutional crisis. I dare question to say no matter we ento ye wo Ghana. A constitution na a president powers to do the opposite. And it goes back to our history. And why ako so jamudana ngami adomisma ko so jamudai. We understand where our constitution came in. But yatraho, where we should have reformed our constitution and then lesser powers given to our president. Because clearly, Mansa Musa, you look at the president basis, so look at the appointment. Omeki over 6,000 appointments. Now, where 6,000 appointments, is it based on capabilities, or is just whom you know, or the Obama about power, or party officials be a and kofobi as people who can work for you or in the interest of the party? And I stay me up to this time. But me clearly, since I have never seen this kind of governance in Ghana. Never. Where to me, where I sit now, and from all the observations and what is going on, you see, by now, Ghanaians, every single Ghanaian should have stopped work and then back these pensioners on demonstration. Every single Ghanaian. Because already, Ghana pensioners almost saying I've had opportunities to speak to one or two more pensioners. And Mansa Musa, it will shock you. Already, look, I'll give you one typical example. There was a woman I met. She came to London. Now, unfortunately, now at London had to relocate to Ghana into a UK passport. And I got to Ghana for about 20 years for a banker. She, as a pensioner, as a pension, she was receiving 3,000 Ghana, the pension money. So 3,000 Ghana. And where been loans or borrow ya or the year normal or Ghana like and you may be in Sasibin and you may be sorry, or the free bank on. She was paying over 5,005 Ghana out of it. na sikano ama sikano depreciating where the pounds hit about 17 17 so they call Ghana like one pound is 17 Ghana. Not just already no the 15,005 now a better than 70 BB as a pensioner no. Na a devalue untimin portion untimin yeshi oba enti now no sika na omo pensioners ne de ma omo a ebe omo nsem ebi ede toto nro na omo e kan se bond no kra samu mema omo sa sika tene no kra de ma omo no mansamu sa it does not meet their needs. Into a moment to me, a year, a every year, a tour bonds, no. Sassy can cry government today, a cassa, the ma or more, I say, you pay or more coupons, no. A devalue, it's gone because Sicano, a munye to be, there's no value. And this army per crazy say, can I be mano? You have say 15,005. That 1,005 no. What the manner one share nimro ultimate. That is the reality of what is going on. But what my dear very sad. Medical records, any people's finances.
What can say? You see, medical records that Maka saying, look, what can soldier and say me dad or also soldier Udibia come into your core pensioner and Nisika Suni Diara. But do baby have a medical bills no bemuno. In the end, you know, Mansa Musa and the other siblings, you know, we had to chip in. That is the reality. That is the reality of most pensioners and pensioners. And so, for anyone to think, so, in another meeting, maybe one of the discussion, these are middle class. You know. No, these are no middle class. They are just surviving, and it's sad. Now, first statement I will say, as at how the whole of the country have not laid down their tools in support of these people, I find it very difficult to understand.
Sad. I didn't want to bring out a video on this. Sad, but only also be mentioned in middle class. I'll come there. I'll come there. But there not make about medicals and say for these people who have served the country.
Yeah.
Not omubet me abet TV so and disclose their medical records. It is the highest degrading. It is the highest. Ubet me be OP our serve crew. About that situation. But these people also become middle class. The ones first panel, Misano, no more can assembly, only especially where I come from, I'll say at the Ashanti region. Only I say, MP before the Omoya crash for. And when we say a crash for and I say rubber for, they are talking about the middle class or the working class where they are elite. And if you look at these people who has been affected, and I will refer you to 2014, Ken Ofori Atta call for now more call demonstration. Those people are now normal basis. So are those people or more ebi omo emma anaso more fast be things say omo middle class people. I can tell you a lot of them and about out so far.
You.
And I wouldn't say it is something that they need to go through, but clearly they thought to say Ken Ofori Atta and I said Nanado any the government, they have something better to offer them more than the NDC. The NDC will never, NDC crowd, they will not think about even going to pensioners like, I don't know who you need to be a bit closer now and say, Uncle touch it, pensioners. But apart from what they've done, these people, they've not finished Ghana. Look at they are
in the process of finishing it.
They you see, and I don't know this time when I hear about someone talking about MPP and saying they are the better managers still in Ghana when it comes to economic man. Economy na one him and now my managers. Why is the economy again? Because Mansa, we are gone a chrono way. It would take the NDC to come out with strong policies that will revive Ghana again. Because clearly up to 2016, the NDC had done so well that the Ghana had gotten a footing where the foundation was right. And on the month 2017, the BR and MPP AABR was the growth was there. Everything was working for them because they had the fundamentals.
Sure.
Oil fields were. You see, so clearly, not more base. From 2018, Oman Kasa policies and more budget kicking in. Look at the growth. Up to now, we are negatives. And clearly, a chrono baby abeduno. And I'm really sad. Say yet me abedu. Na omunya nubia. So what I me personally, I want to write to the IMF as a complaint. Mr. Ken Ofori Atta cannot leave. From now up to March now, I will put in a complaint. I can copy you into the complaint. I'll copy so many into. I've drafted the complaint. I'm going to base on the NDC MPs in the parliament raised up and says that this guy he has no credibility. The government has.
But
and remember,
naturally, what is done? The common practice is that when a company goes bust or say bankrupt, a company is bankrupt, what they do is that senior management will be put aside. They will be kicked aside. A new management group will come in, take over and restructure everything. So I don't understand how the whole Ghana PLC is being run down by a person or persons, and yet the same person or persons, the president has allowed them to carry on. You don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it.
It's simple. This is a normal it's not about NDC and MPP. It is leadership, quality leadership. If you tell you straight away, it's an another leader. A clear leader, and this comes to this kind of tradition where we think say politically no tradition bi wo ho ese we ne bedi ese na enye we na aso ne so, and to me then you are going to have people who are not competent enough to run, but they think say a groom so say
Tira kana dia Japan fu say do no so no.
Mansa musa de kala.
We are concert. Some people edu no so.
You see, the Mansa musa, people's life are at stake. Baby, I acquire and confer pensioners. At me, I saw you from a fee. At your moon row, a beer, a man, and commo checkups. Abetanaho, demonstrating. It's not a joke.
It's not.
Me,
it's not.
I don't take these things for granted, because especially medical scran, Ghana medical scran issue. And for impending we mo cry so mo benye ndru papa cry no more Ghana. A survival. There was a joy news. Papa bin right be ye twen a what bag na ye twen be see na nima onom no. Mansa musa draw so moi. I said drugs no to say or cotton. That's such a person was the 5 years in the bond or they turn in rule. Come on, yeah, just inhuman. But I told you, and me say Ghana, our education is producing foolish elites and criminals. Now, on my past stage, on my foolishness and criminal, no, they have now reached what we call evil doers. Evil. Evil because, but me, I blame Parliament, because whether Parliament, MPP or NDs, I blame them. How can people do oil for gold? And it has not come through Parliament. Parliament has not seen people we are exchanging our gold with, and it can go on. Mansa musa clearly, Parliament is a failure. Parliament is because you are supervisors. You see, be alcohol transaction be a bigger. Acronym beer goes through Parliament into who is giving who authority to be able to deal with these oil gold thing without Parliament knowing those names involved. And how can say the Bank of Ghana can give money out without Parliament going through Parliament? Over 42 billion. You see, and I come back to law. Nanado, you see, the only way people can go against our laws and think they can get away with, and no nanado to always bring all judges. Nanado kwa judges are or the about either Supreme Court or Appeals Court. It's too much.
It is really too much. I mean, there is nothing to understand about what is going on in Ghana. Governance is poor and everything else is following its wake. Listen, Madamfo, yem fancy ha, Jamia Dumwa, China Suye Freya, ubetumi aba ama yedi nkomo me da ase bebre
na me sha Mansa musa
yo right Mr. George Educhum na motini kano wa ubeka the other phone no I'm sorry, I mean I couldn't take you for a reason. So if you want to call again, please do, and I will definitely, seriously pick your call and we'll have a chat. This is Mansa Musa, and the program, definitely, I think you know the name of already. This program is what we call Fire Will Burn You.
For say dear, yenam top connect so emani sika jiba Ghana if we wiase afa na nyina yenchia kapre ane aye free top connect amasika manie ayem rekra ye wohia ne se wo be download wo top connect app no e wo Play Store diama wo Android phone ana se wo use iPhone so a ko Apple Store na download the top connect aye simple kra top connect wa man be buraduonum so wo Europe North America and Asia wo mane wo dofo sika fa top connect so a aye ntem na emre na mawa hoto so say die sika manye di foforo kra any top connect so we yan chechemu bia for top connect our +442 081 6155 and a +442 081 761 600 +447 882 950 088 and nasa hwehwe top connect our barefoot interfidie nyina so top connect fesika mane wa dofo asumjemu a unchia kapre top connect yensu ye dienie
Fire Will Burn You was a beautiful, beautiful sound of Osibisa, Mr. Teddy Osei and Mark Tonto. Those beautiful years, all those years ago. Fire will burn you. Mansa Musa want to say, don't make fire your master. Never allow fire to be your master. Always make sure fire remains your servant, and that you will be all right. Anyway, so we are discussing what is happening in Ghana. I'm saying I've got a picture or a poster, a flyer which states that on the 18th of February this year, there's going to be, a party, a get-together, dinner, dance, award session being organized by or for the Ministry of Information. So let me read it. It said Information Services Department and Ministry of Information. 2022 Government PRO's Dinner and Awards Night. So 2022, the Information Ministry did not have their party night or dinner and awards night to award themselves with things, right? So that party will happen, or that dinner dance will happen on 18th of February 2023, and they say 6 p.m. prompt. Obviously, you know it's Ghana time, innit? 6 p.m. so you can get there by 9 and the program wouldn't be started by then. You see? So the question is, are we as a country, are we in financial difficulties at all? Obviously, this dinner dance is, a single event, is minor in the big scheme of things. Maybe the money to organize this isn't that huge. But it is the feeling of, how do we call it? The feeling of not, non-appropriateness, if there's any word like that. The feeling of that event not being appropriate for this time. Akufo-Addo and his people don't know what is appropriate and what is not. They are reckless. Because if they knew, Akufo-Addo wouldn't be taking that presidential jet, 17,000 an hour. Then the jet will be waiting, sitting on the tarmac, waiting for him. If he knew the value of money, if Akufo-Addo and his people actually knew what was appropriate or what is appropriate at what time, he wouldn't be doing that. He wouldn't be spending so much money on so many of these appointees. If Akufo-Addo knew what was appropriate, what is appropriate, he wouldn't go and demolish houses for high-end residents, judges to be precise, diplomats, knock all those buildings down in favor of a cathedral, which, quietly and secretly, he had planned to use public funds, public money, government money. Akufo-Addo doesn't know what is appropriate at all, and that is the worry. And because he doesn't know what is appropriate, it has run down the chain of command. It has run into the system, and everybody is doing as the master is doing. Otherwise, this government PRO's dinner and awards dance, it shouldn't happen. This time, this time of in our economic, the structure of the economy so shaky, we are borrowing money, asking for help here and there. Then we have the government outfit, the Ministry of Information, they are organizing award dinner dance. And if you look at the pictures, the good of and the mighty of that particular, ministry. Special guest of honor, Honorable Oboshi Sai Kofi, Presidential Advisor on Media and Strategic Communication. Honorable Kojo Opon Nkrumah, Minister for Information. Honorable Fatimatu Abubakar, Deputy Minister for Information. Dr. Ben Asante, CEO, CEO of what? Ghana, something, I can't see. Then Mr. David Owusu Agyemang, His credentials print, I can't even read them. You see, these people are the what do we call it? They are the VVIPs. They are organizing a party. End of year party 2022 is being organized, scheduled for February 18th. The point is, they are not going to use their pocket money. It is the state money. The money is coming from the state coffers. So my question is that Ghana economy na sikana yesi enibi no. Enokrasi enibi ana. Na si enibia enuntia ama pensioners. Eye choboi. Ebi kren to me kasa yebi to me ntrunyumuni ye. Say they are not physically in that, the stage to me I hear demonstration. Yes, could placards. At my age, when I hold placard for a while, that means misogyny. So imagine their age, placards. And the country is so sick. The country is so disorganized. It's say ye minor prama and Mr. George Nichum Kansasiano. Why and how the rest of the worker folk, and now say the rest of the workers in Ghana have not downed their tools. They are not going on demonstration in support of these pensioners. I don't get it. I don't understand. What has here? The entire Ghana for you now, I think no more share pensioners a demonstration. The entire Ghana workers now, Emrantian Babawa from 25 to 40, 50. Omu jina ho, omu tie mu baby, na omu share pensioners a demonstration to safeguard their pension incomes. Why Ghanaians are quiet over these things? I don't get it. Jimmy and I about them. What a heck of affairs. What are they in Ghana for the other? The other time I told you that you remember that young fellow who committed suicide. He climbed onto the electric pylon, electrocuted himself, fell all the way down and died. They call him Kakra or something. I think this happened. Is it Mankesim or is it Kaswa? Is it Mankesim? I've forgotten is that place. Any proper country, like people will go on Chombo demonstration to highlight the plight of Ghanaians, why people are committing suicide. Kufuor destroy the moral fiber of the country. Destroy it through his machinations, the tribal bigotry, the infestation of tribal bigotry, so much so that now just say MPP there the chairman fruma, MPP there the chairman fruma. Nkwasiake kasa. And obia be sorry cathedral no enkanye boni nemo cathedral efa so bia ni ho. You got to say it as it is. Efa so bia ni cathedral no. Ye dia sorry e dey Jimmy Omani nyina. Sorry and ye dey Jimmy Ghana Omani nyina. Ne kom dinipa he asebo si apiati da sa explosion no or my people can demonstration be ebesi and yes small. Because the people are fed up of politicians. Omuni say amani ye muni ye. Ghana phone himself money ye muni ye. And so be at go quietly. Why? Because here the Jesus ninjame adada ya mafeya dream nyina say Kufuor do kura ne otumi be nyina ka say God willing things will be okay. God willing. Today, if you go to Turkey, they are chasing some designers and some architects some builders, they are chasing, looking for them to come and answer. They are not saying, oh, nipa na where natural disaster, nyame na ye, nyame shishe, enti yemfama nyame. Enkwasi akeka nkwa ne gu Ghana. Yenkwa na Bible ni ye de be kire yen. Are we the only set of people, a group of people who had, who came, your friend is saying, came in contact with the Bible? Are we the only people? So much so that we deceive ourselves, we have destroyed our mentality and sensibilities. Everything that is happening, you have some people come and sit on television and radio to defend it. And people will accept it. Nkwasia, my ben krano no. Omaya, enkrofa ye, you might be 30 years, 40 years, be 45 years. It be 50 years. All what they are doing, sitting down, they eat and sleep. If they are lucky, they don't fall ill. If they fall ill, then they buy medicines. These people today have to go on demonstrations. And we have able men and women in the country. Everyone is quiet. Just a pensioners. Pensioners now. Omo nya omo asem. Enti omo kwaka omo asem. Omo fobe no. What a hopeless society. What a hopeless, what a useless society. When are we going to wake up? I'm saying hopeless and useless, not because there's one particular government, but our whole upbringing has been, is determined by what we hear from the Bible, the Bible, and the Bible, and the Bible. Are they? So much so that we feel that if we build a cathedral, that is where our country will be reborn. That is where we are going to get our development from. Bodam papa. Yesterday, someone told me the first time she had gone to see the Legon Hospital, and he said even that one is being left, is being neglected. Even that hospital is today, as we speak, is being neglected. I said, okay, but maintain, be correct, no? Even if it is good for only the scaffold okroma and Kenya bad, so that they won't travel outside, it's being neglected. Today I watch a friend say, Captain Smart again, talking about a Ferry General Hospital and Sevilla and all those, is still being neglected. It's just there. Don't you know that the things that have been built, or the things you see, how you maintain, how you build things and maintain it, how you look after it, it is that which sustains the country. It is not about God. Oh, nyamiya. And now also to make us, with God's guidance, the economy will be well. And some what the hell is going on? How have my people been so destroyed in their mind? My people have been destroyed completely in the mind, so much so that everything is about depending on God. I say today, we have people being chased, some architects, designers, engineers, and the rest. In Turkey, they are going after them because apparently some of the building should be able to withstand that level of shocks from the earthquake. And it is true because that earthquake, happened, some building beside, adjacent buildings, some of them have withstood the shocks. And some of them are completely, they've become a pile of rubble. Say, and So that the buildings that were built properly with the proper regulations, those buildings have withstood the earthquake. But the buildings that were not built with the proper regulations, they have crumbled. And so the people, the authorities in Turkey, they are looking for the builders of those buildings that, in their view, were not built to proper standards. And that is how, country is governed. It's not always about God. Say, oh, nyame shishye, nyame na odiba, onu aso na eji, emkwasi akikasa. What is wrong with us? What is wrong with us? Today, everybody, people who are educated, you talked to them yesterday, this afternoon, or was it last night? Obi say Kufuor would have been sacked if I was a Kufuor. One Kunedo Aprekune can we? Well, a Kufuor cannot sack the man who has made so much money for him. It is the power of the masses. If they could hit the street, then they will make it will bring about some changes. If the masses could hit the street, it would definitely, surely bring about some changes. But if everyone is quiet, as they are now, Obia full say a year for your friend is saying, pensioners, and then your wasem, and and for Obia. Obia feels a pensioners, then your wasem, and for Obia. That is the problem we are facing. If people, sat up and demanded accountability, demanded excellence, demanded competence, then we won't have this situation. The central bank will organize and print billions of cedis right against every rule in the book, every rule in the constitution. Our bank will print big sums of money, give it to the government. Now, if you cry on the your Bank of Ghana are printing such huge quantities of cash, am I buying? How come? What the hell are buying this car or debate your pensioners? Pension for they say they have to relinquish their monies. With all those billions, so now we understand why the city was depreciating, because the governor of Bank of Ghana printed so much money, gave it to these same people, and these same people were using the cities to purchase dollars. These same people were using cities to purchase dollars. So that's why the city was depreciating that time. Then you say, you are printing billions and billions and billions of cities. Now, some billions, if they are used that billions to support the pensioners and pensioners, today the pensioners wouldn't have to be losing their monies. After that illegal printing of money, still we are in trouble. What sort of human beings? What kind of intellectuals or trained people, qualified people do we have in the helm of affairs? Who are these people? Who are these so-called we have the men? What a nonsense. What rubbish are we experiencing in Ghana? And how the hell you people sit quietly and observe? What the hell? How the hell would we allow one person, a Kufuor and his family, to ride roughshod over everybody, destroy the country? Akufo-Addo speaks and he will end up saying, with God's will, everything will be okay. Because when him say, Jimmy, especially those of you here in the UK, since when did you hear any of our finance ministry or the government officials talking about God's grace? That the economy will be done properly by God's grace. Since when? Or you think for them, they haven't heard of the Bible quotation or Bible verses? Okay, thank you. May say, since when did you hear here in the UK, the last time you heard of any government representative, talking about or referring to God's what we call it, intervention? It looks as though we've lost our ways. We've lost our ways completely. We've completely lost our ways. Right, sorry about I couldn't pick you. Please do call again. This is Mansa Musa, and the program is Fire Will Burn You. Don't let fire burn you at all, at all, at all. If you go on to the YouTube NFM New Face Media rather. When you type New Face Media on their YouTube, please do subscribe for big time politics with Mansa here on NFM, and you'll be doing a whole world of good if you can subscribe our YouTube app. That is very important to us. You will be helping us a lot. And Facebook as well, like and share it. Telephone numbers 028-123-5911 and 07876251261. If you call me, we will have a nice chat. I'm still waiting for a response from Accra. Somebody who earlier in the day promised to have conversation with us. We're trying to see if we can get hold of him. But the discussion is all about the fact that I still don't get it. Like as Mr. Duchum, said previously, that the reason why Ghanaians, the workers in Ghana, by now all of them should have just, put their tools down to rally in support of pensioners, and not, our elderly aged to be left on, on their own devices to fight their own battles. Ekuro ben kurani, omai ben kurani, nipa ben kurani. Baya abino yen shishe bia emma krofo nyina bre enso ese won fo bia ho. We tikrum ha almost every week. Ubeti anse we do some the baby adano afa me ra ho na ma fere so, because I had to turn her down. Whether it is true what she's saying or not, I don't know, because I am overwhelmed. We be so sika. They are suffering, but they don't want to say tackle. When him say, and answer when him say, and we have no abino sebia or minor or other places, Nipane or minor, they elect their leaders. They want their leaders to work on their behalf. It is not just sebia, ya trouba, we are MP, we are minister, we are binding pa. That's all. So and why lucky, ya trauma, go and enjoy with your family. No. A lot of people are suffering in Ghana. And I am in Komisi other people in Europe, and I say, Nipabia minimum. Me say, Nansenya. There 3 days coming to me reply, Mammy. It's me in your courage. He said, look, every other week, and I say once a week, Obi the me and I may die sing, and I may and some may be, just a new brain bunny, and I say, just try and look. But many of these people are respectful people are almost the very any pressure. They will ask to see if you can help them. People are financially struggling, but they will better, they think it's better to send a message to Mansa Musa for handouts instead of pushing your government to do the right thing. And then, why are we like this? Why are we like this? And let me tell you, the CEO of a company, government company called a friend PMMC. Omne share gold in obviously, the government outfit, right? Okay, thank you. And the guy was trying to explain the rationale, not the rationale, but the arrangement for this gold for oil program, right? And what he tried to explain, it didn't make sense at all. One of the points is that they what do you call it? What is the name for this? The company that received our gold and sold the gold on our behalf. It was the oil company who those people selling us the oil. They didn't want to take gold for their oil, so they directed us to use a company to sell the gold for. I mean, ye koto oil na from omo de omo so mo pay gold. Na omo na direct is for gold come away no on tom. Assembly say just a normal private PLC here, and shareholders grant they won't understand this. And so Ghana will be able to have church assembly like that, and what was so free. Okay, thank you. Jesus Christ.
Democratic Congress NDC no nyam form mani mema mo UK ni Ireland chapter no ya yetienie bena so say beto aba chapter chairman fofo ya said the chinene mum no koto on swear enyo nyam for Dr Joe Owusu the restoration man the father say the party no enim kai odi amonyesema kotine yie e we to the place wa performance ro nkoso oni mu adwumade de e fa ne hotitiru na esine nan so ne made bebre no de egu akwemu a obeye de amaye bi ni se o sigina ye esiko no dwumade bia me kire party office na odisika £3 empemenum na ato ase e 5,000 pounds o santre maguo ni mama honsu £1,000 na ebe show mu dwumade mu kina na esigina ye Dodon swa, mechire afoforo omo betro omudin abeka party ne ho de omo mbrakura o omo sebeka omudin card ententem so na atwe adom abeka ye ho eye bosu memiense bia nso party mu mpanimfu a odi dwumadi ebe show mu nse bia no obeto safro mwatena se na de ye dia show mu nse no omo ebu ho apontam mako we ndi bebre na no be ya maye yo onia se kwatreko se be ma wontuma bisanidi Dr. Joe Agyemang, the restoration man, Tata Chairman Anna, Yantumano.
Right, so it's just about a minute or so, and it will be 10 p.m. here at the same time, Ghana. Hana me de yen common the basic, and we had more china, Yababe trust me, Damuna say, and have a good night. As usual, I'll have to say that look. Do everything within reason. Man, ye be bia or homebechro. Say campaign on person share. She clean kakrebi. A petition obe cha kakrebi. Man numbia and be bring man show fu. Na mom so only would do for being person mo train. Me true do. And maybe I can't tell you so be any kakre. You can do as much as you want. Have a good night, and inshallah we'll meet tomorrow. Good night. Bye.
Maka